Hello and welcome everyone out there in the Actual Tech Media audience. We've got a great event lined up for you today. The topic is automating digital customer experiences with Airkit. Thank you so much for joining us on this Actual Tech Media webinar brought to you in partnership with Airkit. Before we get started, there's just a few things that you should know about the event. My name is David Davis of Actual Tech Media, and I'll be serving as the moderator. As always, we want this to be an educational experience, and we encourage your questions on today's topic. We'll be doing a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the event today, and we encourage your questions. We also have our best question prize to help shake some questions loose, if you will. I'll talk about that here in just a moment. I also want to call your attention to the handouts tab. There's a number of resources there. You'll find a case study, the Airkit Flight School, and the Airkit free trial, as well as a PDF resource you can download, which is Airkit for IT and engineering leaders. So make sure that you check out all those resources before you go. And then finally, at the end of the webinar, I'll have the pleasure of announcing the winner of our Amazon $300 gift card. If you're watching this on demand, of course, the drawing would have already occurred. You can find the full prize terms and conditions there in your handouts tab as well. And then, as I mentioned, we also have our best question prize for another Amazon $50 gift card. Of course, you have to ask a question to be entered into that and also meet the Actual Tech Media prize terms and conditions. All right, so with all that out of the way, I'm excited now to introduce you to today's two expert presenters. Welcome Arushi Jain, Product Marketing at Airkit, and Leo Ng, Developer Advocate at Airkit. Arushi and Leo, it's great to have you both on. Arushi, I'll first hand it off to you. Take it away.
Thanks, David. Hey, everyone. I'm super excited to speak with you all today. Want to walk you through today's agenda for the webinar. We're going to kick off today with a brief introduction on who's Airkit and what we do to help automate digital CX. Then I'm going to take you under the hood to show you how we actually built the platform and the different components we built in to help you accelerate the development. And then lastly, to bring it home, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Leo, who will actually walk through a live demo on how we build these digital experiences in Airkit Studio. So just to start off on why we were even founded in the first place, Airkit was founded by the same team that built Relate IQ. And that was the first AI-powered CRM that was later acquired by Salesforce and became Salesforce Einstein. So while our founders were at Salesforce, they noticed an interesting challenge where customers were moving digital faster than ever, but a lot of companies weren't ready and weren't able to execute on those digital experiences that they expected. And what we've seen is that the COVID-19 pandemic only exacerbated this problem, with most call centers being flooded with routine requests, but really high call volume from those requests, such as, where's my order? I need to file a claim for unemployment, or I need to check and change my address. So this is something that a lot of companies are addressing, this high call volume, by scaling with headcount. The challenge with scaling with headcount is that it kills your business growth and it also hurts your ability to deliver great CX. What that means is if you look at the customer's life cycle, when a customer is ready to engage with your business and convert from a lead to a customer, they typically have to wait to speak to a rep to become a paying customers. So often, like we see sales teams not being able to call down leads or connect with leads that they get, leading to a loss of revenue. Or if a customer is trying to apply for life insurance, they have to start a very complex paper-driven process that can sometimes lead to drop-off and slow that time to revenue as well. Now, when there are customers and they're looking for service, that also leads to slow time to be able to solve their simple requests. On average, customers are typically waiting at least 10 minutes or more to even talk to a live agent. And usually it might be for just a simple routine request, like where's my order and what's my claim status. These are things that don't require human intervention, and most customers are used to self-service. That could bring down also your cost to serve. If, for instance, we've seen like a customer's payment is expiring, what you would like to do is be able to proactively reach out for them and update their payment so that customer doesn't churn. But if you address this challenge with adding more agents and adding more agent intervention, that only drives up your costs and leads to lower customer satisfaction. So this is where Airkit really comes in. what we've seen is like a lot of your systems are really great at aggregating your customer data in one place, but they're not great at actually using them and using that data to trigger personalized digital experiences at the moment your customer is ready to engage with your sales or service team. So Airkit really bridges that gap and connects your existing backend systems, your contact center, your CRM, and more to your customer data. So you can trigger this really personalized one-on-one digital experience to your customer at the moment of intent. So this is more than just serving the right message at the right channel. It's really about driving that customer interaction and that customer action. So for example, like I mentioned earlier, let's say my payment is expiring. Then your rep can proactively reach out to that customer and have them update that payment by self-service and do it digitally on their own, or they can do it on the phone as well, all in a PCI compliant manner. What other thing is our platform is fully SaaS-based, it's globally available, so that way, and it's fully managed. We eliminate the management and infrastructure headaches that are typically with building it yourself, and we take care of all of that for you. So the typical ways we've seen that customers get started with Airkit is threefold. One potential use case is digital deflection. So this is a really common one for that high call volume I talked about earlier. A lot of our customers are using this to help automate their contact centers and deflect that high call volume, especially for high volume, low motion requests, such as order status or claim status, loan scheduling, etc., to self-service and help speed up that service and lower their cost to serve. What typically we see people achieve like a 30 to 50% digital intake, which brings down their cost per call by 40%. Another big use case is digital scheduling. So this improves our customers' connect rates on average by 2x. And that's because they can do that self-service scheduling, either it's for callbacks or connecting on warm leads, and actually give like omni-channel SMS reminders so that they can increase their connect rate with those potential customers and increase their potential revenue from it. A last big use case that we see is that automated enrollment process and really digitizing that paper forms. So we spoke earlier about those like really complex, I think we've all had to fill out like an application which is multiple pages long. You have to mail it back to them and that takes weeks, and you have to call in to check on your status. This all gets digitized, all those touch points throughout the journey. And we use that systems that you already have, so we can pre-fill the customer information or provide custom views to help eliminate that and reduce that customer effort and speed up this process so you can acquire customers faster. So one of the things I want to talk about too is not just like what we do, but under the hood, how we actually built the platform and designed it to be a modern low-code platform for our customers. What we've typically seen is in the past, customers had two options when it came to building these digital CX experiences. Either they had to do a custom approach where it's all do it yourself, or they had like a legacy low code tool. With the former, it gives you flexibility, but it requires extensive engineering resources. So typically like teams of engineers already buried in a backlog of projects, and then 12 months to even just get off the ground. For legacy low code tools that were on the market, they gave you that fast speed to development, but they would trade off production grade quality or that enterprise grade features like security and compliance. So when we built this platform, we wanted to give you that developer speed, but without sacrificing quality and without sacrificing any of the features you need to be enterprise grade production ready. So there's 5 main kind of pillars to our platform. One is we have to engage with a channel and any channel that your customers are, and you want to be able to reach them anywhere. So they're on web, they're on email, they're on SMS, WhatsApp, and more. You want to be able to reach that customer at the moment they're at that they're ready to make a purchase or ready to interact with you. The other thing is often it's difficult to crisscross these channels and tie all their customer experiences together. So one thing with Airkit does is it makes sure that you can swap across channels without losing context and keep track of their customer path. So if I had called a rep to start filling out a form, then they send me an SMS link to go to that form. All of this is tracked, so you preserve that session state and the customer's in the exact same spot of their journey as they move across the channels. The second main thing is we need to integrate with all existing systems you own. So Airkit plugs right into your existing environment. Like we connect that backend data to your customer data so you can deliver these experiences and drive the action. All of this is build once, deploy everywhere. So you save on that time and there's no vendor lock-in with adopting Airkit. Thirdly, to give you that fast developer speed, that's why we adopt low-code platforms, we distilled the best in breed of digital CX experiences into these really powerful building blocks. So there's like 100 plus building blocks, reusable components, pre-built templates, and like business logic that you can use to get started and deliver these experiences as quickly as possible. Fourthly, table stakes is security, compliance, and governance for any enterprise feature and any enterprise application. So we've built this all in. So it's one less thing you have to worry about. All your integrations, all your applications will have built-in security, compliance, and governance, and no worry about infrastructure and maintenance as well. And then lastly, to accelerate that app development throughout its whole life cycle and ensure high quality, you can build, test, and deploy faster with Airkit. So with testing, you have a built-in app debugger, you have UAT on all devices, you have app preview to make sure that you have the right quality, and then you can deploy with one click. All of this in multiple environments with CI/CD support as well. And of course, analytics and reporting to ensure that you're tracking what are those user engagement metrics to continue to improve these interactions. So what you'll see in a little bit is how we visually actually build these journeys in Studio, and Leo will walk you through a live demo on that. Here's a preview of some of the building blocks that we spoke about that helps you kind of build faster. And the way we design these is our team actually studied like what were the best digital customer experiences, and we found patterns in them and distilled those into pre-built components that you can reuse throughout your experiences. So that could be like an e-scheduler, an e-signature to accept payments, payment credit card, PCI complement requests, media upload, including uploading sensitive documents in a secure and compliant manner, progress, location tracking. You can even build your own voice bot if you don't have an IVR system already in place. And of course, you can customize and build everything on your own. These are just some of the components that are available with our Airkit Studio. And then you can snap together these smaller building blocks into larger ones. And that's why we have templates geared around common use cases that we see among our customer bases to help you get started quickly as well. So, this could be that deflection to digital service. It could be channel swapping, like you want to move to a low-cost channel like chat. It could also be like accepting a digital payment or cross-selling while you're on the phone. So all of this is available, and if there's anything you don't see here, you can always customize with our platform. That is the benefit of also using a low-code tool, is you can keep that speed with pre-built templates, but also have customization flexibility to whatever you desire. So I've showed you the raw materials, and this is how we actually visually assemble them into a digital journey. So what you see here is our Airkit Studio, and this is where you define the business logic that underpins the entire experience. So for instance, you define like how you want to kick off your digital journey. Let's say I want to kick it off by voice. Then you can actually have nudges to make sure the customer is completing that journey by SMS. And then you define the key interaction at the end, which is the action you want the customer to take. So maybe that's submitting a payment or self-service updating their subscription plan or clicking on a web link. So all of this is handled within the within Airkit Studio to assemble the digital journey. And once you've built this business logic and applications, like I mentioned, it's really easy to test and one click to deploy. We also provide a white label solution, so you use all your own Twilio handles, domains, etc. So it's completely custom to your enterprise. And as well as building in on-brand interactions, you can customize your themes, configure ones, and deploy it across every application. So you have the same look, feel, and even sound to all your digital experiences that you create with Airkit. And with that, I'll hand it over to Leo so you can actually see what this looks like live and how to build an experience yourself.
Hey, Leo, awesome. Thanks, Arushi. Oh, there you are. You can hear me? Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Arushi. That's great. Hi, guys. My name's Leo. I'm going to take you through a quick app building experience. I'm going to kind of distill this down to the elements. So I'm not going to go into extreme detail into any particular area, but I'm just going to give you kind of a glimpse into like what you can actually build with Airkit. So let me share my screen. And here we go. Okay. So this is Airkit Studio. I'm actually starting from scratch here. This isn't like this isn't a predetermined application I'm building or anything like that. This is something completely fresh I'm starting from. So As Arushi just mentioned, you can actually choose how you start the customer experience journey. There's 4 main ways, just to kind of give you some ideas of how you could do this. You could have the traditional click a link. So that means you could embed this onto your website. So someone clicks on this link and that takes them straight through to this customer experience. They could send a text message to a particular phone number, and that could text them back with a link to a form or something like that. They could call a number, or you could even trigger Airkit experience using an application. So many of you probably work in the tech industry. You have the ability to, for example, if you've got your own web application or SaaS product, you could actually integrate Airkit into that experience and have it triggered by an app API. But today, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to do clicks a link. This takes us straight through to Airkit Studio. So this gives us the kind of preview of what we're going to build. We start off with a web link. I click the plus icon. I'm going to click navigate to Webflow. So a Webflow is simply a sequence of web pages. So when I click on this, I can now add that particular Webflow. We have a whole bunch of different ways that you can do this. These are the building blocks, as Arushi was just mentioning. We have something here, for example, called capture customer info. So let's have a look here. If I click this one, this simply puts this template straight in. Now, if I double click on this, I actually have 2 templates here that have actually come across, 2 little forms. Now, in this case, I don't actually want the second one because we've got address details, and just to keep things simple, I don't want this. So I'm just going to delete this. And I'm just going to go to this personal info form, which has been created for me. Now, as Arushi was mentioning, you can customize all of these items to your liking, and it's very, very easy. So, for example, I've got my first, last name, email address, phone number. Let's say, for example, I actually want to, let's say, add another input. So I can just click on this, say, first name label. I can copy this, and I can grab this first name text input, and I can also copy this. And I can simply drag this down to the bottom and go first name down here too. And so we've got first name twice, and I can just change this to be, let's say, company. And let's call this company here. And let's call this company. Nice. So we've got a little customization of that form. And so when somebody clicks on continue, we want something to happen here. So as Arushi was mentioning, you can actually very easily get in touch or communicate with your customers exactly where they are. Some people prefer messaging through text messages or email reminders or anything like that. We can actually customize them. So for example, if I click on this continue button, I click on actions, and let's click what we've got set up here. Let's delete this. This is part of that template. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this plus icon here, and we're going to actually do something interesting. We're going to create a timer. So what I'm thinking of here is if someone fills out this form, and let's say we want to send them a reminder, let's say if they don't complete the form, we can say, hey, here's a link to get back to your form. Feel free to fill this out when you've got time. And for today's presentation, I'm just going to change it to in 1 minute's time. For those who are a little bit more technical, you actually have full control over this. Airkit is a low-code platform. It's not a no-code platform. So if you want to make some adjustments and go a little bit more precise with exactly the experience you want to build, this is all totally programmable. So, but for those who are a little less technical, we can just do 1 minute, and that's easy to understand. So after 1 minute, we want to do something. So I click this plus icon underneath, and I can start a chatbot. So I want to actually be able to send a text message to that person, and I can add a chatbot right now. So actually, and because I'm starting this completely from scratch, I'm just going to quickly save this. And on the left-hand side configuration builder, I just need to quickly set up a phone number that I've already set up for SMS. So I just need to set this up. This is already something that I set up before. So I just add that to this application, and I'm going to add Twilio here as well. For your information, we have a whole bunch of integrations straight out of the box, including Twilio, Zendesk, Stripe, Google Sheets, and Salesforce. So you can easily send data straight from your Airkit application into any of those integrations very easily. So with that built, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Activity Builder, and I'm going to go back to Actions, and one second here. So I'm going to click on this. We're going to go to Chatbot, and we're going to double click on this and see how we can create this little experience. So I'm going to say, hi, hey there, we missed you. Feel free to return to your form here. And I can insert a Canvas link, or we call this a web link. This will actually take them back to that customer experience that they were just in. So I need to do a little bit of configuration. I'm going to go back to this form. And when someone clicks continue, we need to actually set where that SMS message is going to get sent through to. So we have this box here, phone. I want to set this to be that special person. In Airkit, we call this the actor. I guess you could say the actor is the customer. So on continue, we want to do actions. We click plus, and we want to set some variables here. And I'm going to do actor.phone is going to be phone. So for those who are a little less technical, what we're actually doing here, the phone number that somebody enters on this form, we want to actually specify that this is our special customer's phone number value. So that's the place where that text message is going to get sent through to. We also want to do something and address the person as a person. So we want to do another variable, and we want to do this as actor.firstname is going to be first name. So again, the first name on this form is going to be set as that particular customer. So let me save this. If I go back to the chatbot, actually, I was a bit rude. I said, hey there. I actually want to put the person's name there. So pretty easy. I click on this little thing. I can create an expression. And what this expression looks like is I can actually put in the actor.first name. So it'll be, hey, Leo, or hey, David, etc. So, okay, so that's there. This is looking nice. And we've got this little experience. What we can do, let me just make sure, instead of saying continue, let's change it to submit. And I need to do one last little thing. I need to initialize the actor, and that's fine. And let's drag these above. Lovely, easy user interface. I can drop and drag things. This is the order of operations, and this is looking pretty good. So I can save this. I can click preview, and Airkit makes it super easy for people to actually check out their application. So I can even preview this, say, for example, in an iPhone 8 and see what this experience looks like for the customer. Click on web, and that takes me straight through to this page. So I can fill out my details. Let's do Han Solo, Leo at Airkit.com, 510, 320, 925, 57. Okay. Oops. +1, 510, 320, 9257. And I'm just going to leave this blank, the company name, and I'm going to click submit. So you can see here that this has created a timer. So that means that the text message should actually get sent through. And this preview will come through in this cell phone in a moment within that 1 minute, which will be really, really cool. So whilst we're waiting for that to come through, let's go back to the Airkit Studio. And I also want to show you a few other really cool things that Airkit makes easy for us. I'm an ex-software engineer, and I used to build web applications, and putting a database together for a very simple web application was always so much more hassle than it really needed to be for something simple. With Airkit, we have something called Air Data. So if I want to save the data from that form that we created before, I can just create a very simple database. I click Add App Object. I can call this Contact. I can change the columns to be exactly as they were on that particular form. First name, last name, phone number. I think we just called it phone. And the other one we wanted to do was email and company. Easy. And I can save that. Say continue and save, and that's cool. So that was just my database that I've created. I didn't have to do a database migration or anything extremely complicated. This is just created for me and easy. I can actually use that. So let's go back to the app preview and let's have a look at this text message, which hasn't been sent out, which is interesting. Let's see what I've done here. Let me go back to my activity builder. Let's go back to actions, set timer, start chatbot, and this should be getting sent through to the oh yes, that's right. I do need to publish this application first. So let's do that first. And so that text message will get sent through, and that should be pretty nice and easy. So just before I continue on with that, let's hook up the database here. So we've got all this information that's being set. We want to save that. So super easy. I can actually click on Connection Builder and create this connection from that front end experience back to that back end. So if I click this plus icon, I can do a new data flow. I can click this little plus icon here, and I can do an Air Data request. So that contact object that I created before is already here, and I can actually insert the data here, select an input for that data, that contact, create that, and all I need to do is type in contact, and that data will get actually sent straight through. So what I need to do actually, I do need to put some inputs here too. So let's say first name, last name, whoops, last name, phone, email and company. Nice. So this is looking good. I'm going to save this, and I actually have to create these fields here as well. So email, let's do first name, let's do an order. First name, last name, email, phone, and company. So let me save this, and I'm going to change the name of this data flow to be send contact details, or let's call it save contact details. Save contact. And if I go back to my activity builder, click submit, click actions, click the plus icon. When someone clicks and submit, we can also run a data flow, and I can select save contact, and I can fill the details out from first name, last name, email, phone, and company. So what I'm doing here is I'm passing the data from that front web page to that data flow so it can be saved to the database. So that's nice and easy. Super cool. Okay, so just in the interest of time and for demonstration purposes, I did set up this timer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete this, and let's just do this as an immediate. So that should be, let's do start chatbot. I'm going to drag this up here, and with the chatbot, we're going to do this particular chatbot. So actor the phone, actor the first name, initialize actor. Let's save this. Let's publish. Okay, let's preview this application. And let's try this again. Fingers crossed, this is the danger of doing presentations live. So my adrenaline is going up here. So let's try Leo NG with my last name, airkit.com. Let's do +1, 510, 320, 9257. And I'm going to submit this. Cool. And you can see that this text message came through. Now, what's really, really cool about this is that when I click on this link, this actually takes me back to this page. So this is actually live. So to give you an example of that, to make it a little bit more obvious, if I delete my details, let's say Leo, I put, let's say solo, and if I click and I get rid of my email address, and if I click submit, this is going to send another text message through. And when I click on this link, it actually takes me back to that form in that particular state. So this is actually a live application. Now that this application is published, I can actually get a particular link. And by the way, this is live. I can copy and paste this to you guys so you can all see this. I put this in my browser. We've already deployed this application. So Leo Airkit.com, or let's do Arushi. And we've got phone number 1-510-420-9257. And I'm going to leave this blank. Actually, I'll put this as Rebel Alliance. Why not? Let's click submit. And this will actually get sent through. Now, this is, okay, this has come through. And I'll actually get a text message on my cell phone. I just did. I'm going to just quickly do messages. So when I click on this link, that's going to send me straight through to that form. Exactly like so. Super cool. Alrighty. So this is looking good. I might pause it there. How are we going for time, guys? Just wanted to confirm.
Doing good, Leo. Have plenty of time?
Plenty of time? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
keep on going.
All
so
right.
This application's looking good. What we're going to do here with Data Builder, we've got this information. We want to actually make sure that this is being saved. Let me just refresh this. I actually haven't hooked this this data up, right? Because every time we're clicking submit, it actually doesn't put data in here yet. So let me fix that. So save contact. I didn't actually do it. I was skipping over a few things here. So let's do this properly. So let's insert some information, contacts to insert, and let's actually do a example of this. Objects, contact, and I'm just going to use this to copy and paste this JSON object in here to insert this data. So I'm going to do first name, last name, phone, email, and company. Okay, so let's save that. And, okay, this is looking good. Let me click run so I can preview exactly what this looks like. And if I go to my database, I have a sample person that has come into this database, which is super cool. Now, if I go to Activity Builder, if I go to Connection Builder and just look at this, we don't need to actually really return anything. That's okay. Let me go back to Activity Builder, just make sure that this is hooked up. I think I hooked this up. If I click Submit Actions, we're saving this contact. We're putting that detail in. That's cool. This is looking good. If I save this, I can publish this, and this should just work. So let me just do this preview. And we can actually submit this. Oh. Okay, here's the deck again. Oh, there we go. Yep, it's loaded. Cool. So Leo ng.com. Okay, and I'll leave the company blank and I'll submit this. So when this comes through, this should actually send the data into my database, Data Builder, and I'm here. Super easy. Now, actually, now that this is published, if you guys want to have some fun with it, and please don't put any rude data or something that would not be, let's say, professional. If I publish this, and if I copy and paste this link into the chat, let me see, how do I do that here? I'm not used to this software, but I'm sure I can figure this out pretty quickly. Where is the chat window? Questions? Search. David, how do I paste this into the chat? I'll put this as a question.
Yeah, just drop it in as a question, Leo, and I will share it with the audience.
Got it. Yep, sent. So when you click on that link, this is actually live, ready to go. I've just built this application, and it's for you to use and abuse. So it should be here. You can fill out your details. You'll get a text message instantly, and your details will be saved. And actually, when we published it, did we use? Yeah, we used the development configuration profile. So when you guys are submitting your details, you can we should be able to see that here. So if you're actually submitting things, that will come straight into this database here, which we've already set up. So that's super cool. If you're feeling a little antsy, you want to kind of put your details and get a little famous, you can actually show that off here. And I'll give you a few seconds to do that. And I'll refresh this page. Whoever gets the first database entry should at least get a special mention, right? So David Davis is here. There you go. Thanks, David. So this is super cool. So, okay, I've basically taken you through just to kind of cover what I've covered. I've created a very, very basic form very quickly where we can submit the details. You should receive a text message as a reminder with a link back to that particular form, and it actually preserves the state of your form. Now, this is a super quick form in something that's a little bit more complicated, which we have a lot of customers, for example, in the insurance world, that will actually have an enormous form. Actually, here's one I prepared earlier. What we've noticed is customers are very concerned about wanting to make sure that people continue through their entire process. So with policyholder, with vehicle details, for example, there's a lot of details here. And some people might just get distracted or such. They love getting these reminders to say, hey, this is, you might have dropped off, click on this link. And when they go back to that link, all of their details are filled out. They don't need to refill out the make and model, the VIN number of the car. Can you imagine going to your car, looking for the VIN, putting it in, and then you drop, and then you're like, damn, well, I lost the form. You get a text message back saying, hey, here's a link, and then your VIN number's there. So that's great. So I might stop there, and we do want to give everyone some time for questions and answers and questions. I believe there's a few been going through, so I might just leave it there.
Perfect. Thanks, Leo.
Pleasure.
Awesome. Yeah, really cool demo, Leo. This is something I don't think we've ever done on a webinar. I know I've never seen an application built live and then access the application during the webinar. So kudos to you for doing something really cool and innovative. We do have a lot of great questions coming in from the audience. And so let's go ahead and start our Q&A session now. First question that came in, Warren is asking, can Airkit be used as a help desk application in an educational environment?
I could take this one. So Airkit doesn't replace your help desk, but we actually integrate with whatever existing help desk systems you're using. So that could be like Salesforce, Service Cloud, Zendesk, Customer, and others. And then whether it's an educational environment or in other industries, you can integrate with these systems to enhance both the agent and customer experiences you already have. And that's something we can talk through potential use cases with you when we do a discovery call with you.
Excellent. Yeah, I can see, a lot of scenarios where you need a help desk, but then there's so many other different applications that kind of, work across multiple tools that you have, where Airkit could be such a perfect fit. What are some of the other, most common use cases for Airkit?
Yeah, that note, like our three most common, which we had as our entry use cases that customers just to get started with, it's digital deflection, digital scheduling, and that automated enrollment or paper form digitization. So that is for the first one, that's like, how do I deflect some of my call volume to self-service for like routine requests? So Leo just showed an FNOL template, first notice of loss for insurance. That's a really common use case. For retail, it's like, where's my order? We had a food delivery company actually where over 50% of their orders was just checking order status, especially with COVID, with new restaurants being onboarded. So they use Rubrik, they use Airkit to automate that experience to onboard new customers, but then also to help check that status via self-service.
Absolutely. I can see where, you can't afford to hire 20 new, account reps of some kind to service these client requests. And instead you could put an Airkit and solve those challenges much more efficiently and with much better client satisfaction. Another question here. Let's see. Yuko's got a couple questions. They are asking, do I have the skills needed to create, these types of applications? Could non-IT people create these types of applications with Airkit?
Do you want me to take that one?
Leo, go for it.
Sure. So what we've noticed here is that my favorite example of this, we have a customer of ours, a company is called Auto Return. And what they do is they actually send, they're basically a tow truck company. Well, no, they're not a tow truck company. They're a company that you want to get in touch with when your car's being towed, and they actually are able to locate where your car is. So as you could imagine, in that type of business, you're going to have a lot of people that are very, very unhappy. Where's my car? And for them to be able to build a digital experience, previously, this particular company was set up in a way where they had a web application that was managed by their development team. And then one of their operational IT managers was sick of what was going on, and they wanted to actually do a customer experience quickly so their call center wasn't getting overwhelmed with people that are angry. Where's my car? And they were able to build this within a matter of weeks instead of having to wait on their engineering team to spend months. And they were given the estimate of 4 months. They could do this in a couple of weeks. To give you an idea of his skill level, he's not a software engineer. But he has some, IT administration background. So he's got a bit of technical background, but definitely not an engineer, and definitely not somebody that had coded regularly before. So,
excellent.
To add on to what Leo said, really fast, David. To add on to what Leo was saying, Like one thing that Airkit's working on is to actually provide like pre-built templates and make it easier for non-developers to use the studio. So that's a goal for the company. And we've had teams where like a marketing team wanted to own and operate their own lead gen flow, but engineering was bogged down with other projects. So they were able to use Airkit to build and iterate on their own in a matter of weeks. So in certain companies, they want to pair a developer or an IT admin alongside with a business stakeholder. So it just depends on your company, but we're actively working on making it easier for non-developers.
Excellent. And I think this is a great point to bring up the Airkit Flight School. I was just looking at that before the event. Over on your website, we put in a link to the Airkit Flight School there in the handouts tab. And I was noticing that it really has like almost college level type classes where it starts out at a 101 level for folks who don't have a lot of software development experience. And then it goes up from there. Leo or Arusha, you want to talk a little bit about the Flight School here?
Sure. So we really we are just passionate about creating creating an application that gives you the ability to create great customer experiences. We also want to create a great customer experiences for anyone that uses the Airkit software. So we have a great program called Airkit Flight School. I very often will host the sessions on it, not all the time, but most of the time, and we'll have all sorts of people that come in, and I always make sure that no one gets left behind. We have people that come in with limited IT backgrounds. We have people that come in as CTOs that have a lot of engineering expertise. We always want to make sure that we're catering to a very wide audience, and we always start with the absolute basics to make sure that everyone can build an Airkit application.
Excellent. Yeah, it seems like a great opportunity. Another question here, a follow-up question from Yuko was, there's a number of different, low-code type solutions out there today. What do you feel are the most, unique and differentiating features of Airkit?
Awesome. I can help kind of take this one. So typically what we've seen in the market, one, in comparison to no code, is that customization flexibility you get with a low-code platform. Typically, if it's a no-code, you get that speed to development, but you don't get the power to customize it to your need. And almost every application is unique in its own way, or you might have an on-brand theme that you want to do. So that customization flexibility is a huge difference, and that can give a lot of power in terms of what that digital experience can look like. From other low-code platforms, or if you do it yourself, there's usually like 5 main things that we see with our customers for why they would go with Airkit. One of that is being able to do an omni-channel experience, but without losing context. So a lot of customers or a lot of other platforms that customers use, they'll be able to maybe reach customers wherever they are, but if they swap across channels, they don't preserve that session state, and then a customer gets frustrated with having to re-identify themselves. So that's one thing. The second thing is that integrations that we talked about, this is all out of the box. It's really easy to fit and plug into your environment. And with us, you just build once and then you deploy it everywhere. Thirdly, all that security, compliance, governance, infrastructure maintenance, this is all built in. So you're not sacrificing app quality or enterprise grade features when you use a low-code platform. You get that all built in, and you still get that fast developer speed because we have these really unique templates and components that were purpose-built for CX and to drive actual customer action and have those interactions instead of just serving them a message, or you're giving them an interaction to complete and convert them into a customer.
Very nice. A lot of different differentiating, features there. Thank you, Arushi. There's a couple questions out here who are essentially around like, what's the time frame to implement an application or to get started and do something useful with Airkit?
I could take this one. So with Airkit, what we would highly encourage people to, just coming back to the previous topic, highly encourage people to try the Airkit Flight School to start that out first. That just 101 and 102 sessions, which are both 1 hour sessions each, is enough context to give you the basic building blocks to actually get started with Airkit. So you can actually get started with Airkit immediately, but to just get a little bit familiar with the Airkit Studio and a bit of training, it's just 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah, that's not long at all to get started with this. I love that. Another question. Let's see, they're asking, they say Airkit seems to have a lot of creative potential in applications. What are some of the most creative use cases for Airkit that you've heard of? I like that.
Oh wow, that's a
love
let
that.
me think of, that's a so here at Airkit we have an internal hack day which we do every quarter. And the engineering team builds a whole bunch of weird and wonderful applications that that have nothing to do with customer experience, but they can build it on the Airkit platform. I remember when I was interviewing for Airkit before I joined, I was super impressed with one of the guys who created an Airkit application that, no joke, was basically trying to mimic an old 1980s Super Mario game where you could actually have the character run across and try to like jump and go up and down between certain things. So we've had some pretty weird and wonderful things built with Airkit before, but I guess with customer, when it comes to customer stuff, I would say it's mostly forms and trying to create really great experiences where people are being followed up with text messages, emails, etc. Funneling data through. There was one actually that's noteworthy. We had one that was really, really cool, where this customer worked in a very, very archaic industry, and they just, for whatever compliance reasons, they needed PDF documents to always be filled out. It was not acceptable for this to just go in the database. They needed the physical PDF copy. They could actually fill that PDF form, make a copy of the form, and then put it into their database. So lots of cool different things.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. Let's see. Bing is asking, can Airkit create automated messages for different customers?
Automated messages for different customers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what the insinuation of that question is with different customers. You can certainly message many different customers the same thing, but I guess maybe the question that's really being asked is, can we adjust the messaging based on some characteristics of the customer? The answer to that is yes. Airkit has some really, really cool programming features. So, for example, we were just doing this in training this morning. You could scan, let's say, the email address of the customer. And in this particular customer's application, if the person filling out the form had an email domain of a valued customer, let's say Amazon.com or something like that, we could send them a different message with a different link that is something specific to that particular client.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that. Different service level agreements, maybe with different customers, different tiers of customer support, and you might want to provide different information back. Let's see. Another question they're asking here is about, I know you answered the question, how fast can you get up and running? What about how long does it typically take a customer to kind of build their first application? Did we cover that one?
We did not, and happy to take that. So typically with actually deploy an application, we've seen it customers get as fast as like a couple of days to like a week to get their first application out the door. Usually it depends on the complexity of the experience they're trying to build. One of our customers actually was able to create secure digital payments. That was the application that they wanted to build, and they were able to do it in days, which was a 9x faster development time they calculated from what they would do on their own. Also like to do channel swapping. Another customer developed that experience in a week. Other projects that are more complex can take a couple of weeks, but we've seen that's usually 40x faster speed of development than they would do on their own versus like months and years that it would take on their own.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sounds like it could dramatically, improve the time it takes to build an application. So very impressive. I know we're starting to run out of time here in our webinar time slot. Probably the last question we have time for is just what's the best way to get started and to test out Airkit?
I can take this. I would highly recommend signing up for Airkit Flight School. I feel like I'm pressing this quite a lot, but it really is the best way. Airkit doesn't require absolutely zero skills. It requires well, it doesn't require much. Just a very quick 2 hours of tutorial sessions with either myself or anyone else on the developer advocate team is enough to get people ready to rock and roll. So they can actually, and we always do the trainings in a way that's very broad-minded, but we want to give you guys ideas on how you might want to build something or different, and give you the ideas of like what is actually available, what are the tools at your disposal. And if you want further support from us, we're always more than happy to help build process.
Excellent. Yeah, sounds like a great way to get started. I want to remind everyone the link to the Airkit Flight School is there in the Handouts tab. There are also resources around the Airkit free trial, the ERC case study, and the Airkit for IT and engineering leaders PDF. Make sure that you check out those resources before you go. Arushi and Leo, it's been great having you on the event today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, David.
It was great speaking to you guys.
And thank you to Airkit, of course, for supporting the event today. I want to, of course, remind everyone about the handouts there before you go. Don't forget about those. And then announce the winner of our Amazon $300 gift card. This is going out to Allie Edgar from Kentucky. Congratulations. And we'll also reach out to our best question prize winner as well. Thank you to everyone who joined us on the webinar today. Visit airkit.com for more information. Have a great day. See you next time.